All I know is this violates every canon of respectable broadcasting.
How are you?
Hey, who wants to help me get this recorder out of here? I need some muscle over here.
You are listening to Blame Your Brother.
Hello. Welcome back to Blame Your Brother. Very special episode 179. We will be joined by professional eater Randy Santel in just a little bit here. We're excited to talk to him. This guy is a YouTube sensation. He eats a lot of food, and we're going to get into all that in a little bit. But, hey, we're here right now. So, generally, we record on Thursday nights, but for the next about 2 months, we're going to be switching over to Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. So, mark that in your calendar, Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. My son's got flag football. They practice on Thursday. What are you going to do? But, yes, we'll be moving to Tuesdays next week until about the middle of May. So, thanks for hanging out with us. If you're here, we appreciate it. And we are Blame Your Brother. There are three of us that come to you every week. I am one third of that trio. I am David, a.k.a. D-Brew, voice of the people, Mr. 40%, the field goal kicker. And I am sitting here with this gentleman here, the man who feels the burn. It's my brother. It's Lee.
What up, everyone? It's Lee. Glad to be here.
All right. That was great. All right. And we this guy sitting over here to the right. It's John.
John here, a.k.a. Tico, a.k.a. The Big Apple, Mr. Groupon, Mr. PTI, the Madman.
They got John Tortorella, a madman.
They do have a madman.
Okay, he's a madman.
All right. There we go. David, Lee, John, Blame Your Brother. We're going to get this thing moving. We start the show off the same way every week. A little segment where we like to apologize called Who's to Blame? All right, who's to blame? A chance for apologies, retractions, omissions. It would be a crime if we did not start with Lee this week. Lee, is there anything you need to apologize for last week's episode? Anything that stands out?
I do. I got a name completely wrong. In my preparations, I was thinking that I was putting down Sister Rosetta Tharpe. Instead, I picked out the whitest person to ever live, which was Maybelle Carter. Made it onto the
Mount Rushmore
of
African
American History Month. So
to clarify for new people just listening, we did the Mount Rushmore of African Americans, and you, just to clarify, placed a white person.
No, I messed up and said the wrong name. But it was supposed to be Sister Rosetta Tharpe.
But
instead, another musician crossed in my mind, which is Maybelle Carter. So I apologize. That's the story.
So you put Maybelle Carter, a white person, on the Mount Rushmore.
I did. Okay.
Unfortunately,
it wasn't even the dumbest thing said in the episode. So
what was the dumbest thing said?
You'll have to go back and listen to it. I wouldn't even want to repeat it.
Okay. That was probably something John said. John, what about you? Anything you need to apologize for?
I need to apologize to Lee.
Okay.
I said something. I was not being gracious about the volume of my mic, and I think I busted Lee's eardrum.
Yeah, that was.
I don't think you need to apologize to me per se. I think you need to apologize to the listeners, and
it was fixed
in particular, maybe my wife and my child, who did make comments after the show, wondering why John was screaming at the top of his lungs.
Okay,
so
well, it wasn't at the top of my lungs, but
I mean, I would hate to see you go louder, but yeah, anyone that was listening, I'm sure, got a shock there.
All right, well, I need to get something off my chest. Mount Rushmore, it was soiled. Let's just be honest here. We tried to do a good thing. We didn't put enough effort into the African American History Month. We failed. And so we thought we could make it up by doing this Mount Rushmore of African Americans. And yes, Lee, you put Maybelle Carter on the list.
I did not. I put someone else.
It happened. No, you said it's on record. But I messed up too. I put Jesus Christ on my list. And then, it offended some of the religious right. But that's not why I rescind the name on my Mount Rushmore. I thought after it ended, who is someone that I could put on the Mount Rushmore that people would love, people would respect, and if you don't know, that person would be me, D-Brew. Voice of the people should be on the Mount Rushmore, because if you follow the show, I'm 1% African. This is proven with the DNA test. So if Lee can rescind his person, Maybelle Carter to who? What's the lady's name?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, if you can rescind that, I'm rescinding mine
Miss
to
Tharp.
David Brewington is the fourth person on my Mount Rushmore. So I'm good with that. I like it. And that is that. So that's it. That's all. That's apologies. Lee, you seem like you're in a mood today.
No, amazing pick. Yeah, you deserve to be up there, man.
What's going
100%.
on? What's going on with you, man? We got to get this out of the way. We got a good guest coming in, and you're just.
I'm excited for Randy Santel.
Feel the burn, brother. Are you feeling it?
I think if anyone feels the burn, it's you.
So I went, and I voted, like I always do. I always say you should vote. You should get out there, vote, let your voice be heard. If you don't, shut the hell up. And I believe that. All these people complaining, you know, I went, and for the first time, I voted for Mr. Bernie Sanders. That's factual. It's true. I sat at the poll for about a minute and a half. I've never done that before. Most time I go into the poll, I'm ready to make my choice. When I walk in the door, I'm like, I'm voting for this person. I looked at the list over and over again. My first choice would have been Mayor Pete. Dropped out. Put his cash in for Biden. I looked at it next. I said, Biden. No, that guy is the establishment. I said, I want chaos. I want someone who's going to change the game. So I voted for Bernie. And of course, every time I vote for someone, they lose. Every freaking time, dude. I think I picked one winner. So I'm going to put this out here to Trump Nation or anti-Trump Nation, whoever pays me the most. You want your candidate to win. You pay me to vote for the person you want to lose, because I am a constant loser when it comes to election.
So maybe you should vote for Trump.
Maybe I should. And if enough people want to bring the cashola my way, I will gladly vote for Trump where he will lose. Okay? You ever heard of a casino has the cooler, right? When somebody's got a hot hand, they bring out the cooler, man, he stands next to the guy, start losing. This is a real thing. People believe in a lot of things. The man in the sky, the magic of the casino, whatever. I've got the magic of I can make the person I vote for lose. So if enough people get together, I will vote for Trump if you pay me. I want that. I want those two caveats put together. I will vote for Trump if you pay me.
Isn't that just a little bit illegal?
Venmo me the money. Just say it was for Girl Scout cookies, and we're good to go. No one's ever going to know the difference. So, all right. Well, Lee, I hope Feel the Burn didn't make you feel too bad. You good?
I'm good.
What happened?
Who?
You come in here, you get us all fired up about Bernie. You've been like his voice.
Voice of the
Why in the hell did his young people not show up to vote? What is going on here with these damn millennials?
I saw on the news where someone was saying that the votes suddenly at the last minute became elevated for Biden. I don't know if that's true. I also heard that, obviously when Bernie Sanders is ahead in the polls by 10%, he's barely winning. When Biden's ahead in the polls by 1%, he's trouncing everyone. So
thank you, because
there's an obvious bias for the establishment politics.
Amen, brother.
So, and maybe they're right. Maybe since the system is rigged, Bernie Sanders can't win. So
possibly. And here's the real damn deal. They called Nashville before the polls were even closed. The polls stayed open.
Unusual,
the polls stayed open for additional time because of the tornadoes that hit, and we'll talk about that later on in the episode. But I don't know. It seems the fix is in. I don't know. John, did you vote?
I did not.
Okay. Well, there you go. 2 non-voters, 1 voter. All right. Well, we got Randy Santel. You want to go ahead and get him on the line? This is a professional eater. This guy, I've watched his YouTube stuff. It's crazy. We're going to get him on the line right now, and I think people are going to enjoy this. So here we go. That Skype ring, baby. Okay, come on. All right. Hey, Randy, what's going on?
Hey, not too much. How you guys?
Oh, we're doing pretty good. Just getting the show started. We got you on Skype here. Everybody can see you, man. This is cool. So, yes, on the program, we've got professional eater, the man, the myth, the legend. It's Randy Santel. You're so popular on YouTube, all social media. It is amazing to watch you. I've been watching all your videos. I sat down with the family, did a whole binge of them, and I must be the dummy, or maybe not, but every time I watch these food challenges, I'm like, no way is he going to be able to eat all this food. And most of them I've seen, you've done it. So we've got so many questions to ask you. So I want to start off with this one. How does a man know that he can eat that much food? Like, what is the moment of your life where you're like, I can eat a lot of food?
I've always known that I'm able to eat a lot. And when I was in 5th grade, I got on the scale and I was over 200 pounds. I weighed 205. And I was like, oh, goodness, I need to do something about this. So my mom helped me actually with the program Weight Watchers back between 5th and 6th grade, lose 40 pounds. So that was definitely, I always knew I could eat. And then I went into high school actually. I used to play soccer, but then once I realized how much running there was in high school, I switched over to football because some of my friends were playing football. But I wanted to be a better offensive lineman going into my senior year. So I actually gained about 100 pounds.
Wow.
I went from 235 was my junior weight. In my senior season, I was around 335 pounds. Whoa. And a lot of that was on the brunt of Subway, Burger King, and then a pasta place that I did the dishes at. But when I was working at Subway before I got let go there, I was eating like 3 double meat footlongs every time I worked, which was just a 5-hour shift. So
wow.
I was putting down some food. And then in 2010, I was trying to do the opposite. I was trying to get rid of all my lineman weight and all the weight that I carried as an offensive lineman. I played for 3 years in football or in college at Missouri State University when I got my first degree, which was in construction management. But I was trying to lose the weight, and I got into that Spartacus transformation contest. And then like 3 days before, or no, not 3 days, 3 weeks before, it was all over. My buddy Dan invited me to do a 28-inch pizza challenge with him as a way to celebrate the end of the diet and everything. And that was my inspiration for getting going with all the food challenges.
There you go. So that explains all. So I have noticed, like I Googled some of your images, we're looking for the show art. And I noticed like there's, some images, look bigger. Some you look, for a while you were like cutting, like you were cut, man. Like how do you deal with that constantly? Is that something you worry about, your health, as you're doing all these weight challenges? How does that factor into your mind at all?
Yeah, I always tell people I'm always 6'5". My weight just depends on the day you ask.
Yeah, right.
So, my first couple years, I was my profession wasn't eating. It was I was a concrete estimator, and then I did a couple other construction related management jobs. I didn't retire from all that until October 2013.
Wow.
When I got out of all that, I sold roofs up in Omaha for like 7 months to make all the money that I needed for all the initial stuff I was doing. But once I was done with all the construction and had not only my weekends free, but also the weekdays, that's when I started really going on the tours and some of the weight started piling on. But it was nice. I actually just had a video about this like a Friday or two ago. But once I was done, when I was in my last round of college and finishing up my degree in dietetics, I had a whole bunch of breaks that I needed to take during all the semesters. But then in 2019, once I graduated in May, then the weight really started piling on because I wasn't really taking as many breaks as I should have. But I got up to, in high school, my highest weight was 346 pounds. But then in 2019, I got up to 373.9. I had never expected to beat that old high school weight, but I soared right past that. So I do get a lot of questions about what my health is like. And before I start back up on April 7th, either the end of this month or the very beginning of April, I'm going to be getting some blood tests done just to check my triglycerides, cholesterol, blood glucose, and everything like that. So we'll be able to get a good handle of how everything's looking.
Yeah, for sure.
But a lot of people want to know my blood levels like right after the end of a tour. And I always tell them, what do you expect? You think they're just going to be perfect?
Right.
No. Why would I even need to get my blood levels tested? I'm sure cholesterol is high. I'm sure triglycerides are high. I'm sure my glucose is up there. What's even the point? Now that I'm actually been dieting, I started my diet kind of right after Christmas. But, of course, everything's going to be looking better in beginning of April than it would have if I had done it in January when I was 320 or 373.9 pounds.
That's crazy. Okay, so we ask around for some questions. So one of the questions I ask my children, and kids think, what is the bathroom situation like after these Like, I mean, does your body used to that? Because I can't imagine if I ate 100 wings, man, I would be in a lot of pain afterwards. Is that?
I get that question all the time, and really, it depends on what I'm eating. Like, if I'm eating a 7-pound burrito, it's going to be different than a 7-pound steak.
Right.
But I also have fiber supplements that help too when I need to.
Okay.
Like if I'm doing an 8-pound challenge and I have another bigger challenge only like 20 hours later, I take some fiber stuff to help. But it's not really about size. It's more about quantity, how often.
Okay, got you. Now, someone wants to know. We got chat that's watching it. And everybody's going crazy right now. They want to, what is the hardest thing to eat? In other words, what foods fill you up the fastest? What gives you the most problems?
Well, a lot of that depends on the cooking.
Yeah.
So, a steak that's overcooked or really crusty pizza would be the hardest because that would be the most difficult on your jaw. So, whenever I try to get, like, let's say I've got to do a 3-pound burger patty, or like I just did a 100-ounce steak or even a 72-ounce steak, you try to get that meat medium rare because you want it nice, hot, and juicy.
Right.
Once it gets overcooked or even once it cools down, all that liquid, all the juices kind of dry up and it gets harder to chew. And in order to get it down fast, you have to drink more liquids. So if it's overcooked from the start, it's going to be not only dry, but it's going to be harder to chew for the jaw. And if you've got to eat 100 ounces of steak or whatever it is, if your jaw is tired after the first 10 minutes, it's going to be a struggle to get it all down.
That's crazy. I never thought about that. So a lot of it is jaw strength. That's crazy, man. So.
Oh, yeah, jaw strength. Yeah, food challenges, I always say it's a team effort. If the restaurant doesn't want you to win, sometimes you're screwed.
Have you been into that? Like, when do you know? Like, are you like 5 minutes in, 10 minutes in? You're like, this just isn't going to happen. I mean, have you been in those situations?
Well, I know that I've been screwed before I even start. So, like a restaurant will add a pound or two in on me, or just, I mean, because unless I'm the first one to ever do it, there's pictures online on their Facebook or whatnot of previous challenges. If yours is bigger than all the rest.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in those cases, I mean, maybe if it's crazy out of proportion, you can maybe do a little bit of complaining. But sometimes, I mean, if there's 100 people there to watch and that food's sitting there and brought out, I mean, you can't complain then because everybody's going to know you're a big sissy saying it's too big or whatnot. Sometimes you just got to take it. But, yeah, I mean, but there's also, I would say there's probably 10 times where in the first 10 minutes, I thought I was going to lose. But then I just knew there were people there to watch. I knew I wanted to put on a good show, so I just kept on eating. And then something happened where I was able to get it down.
Wow.
So I always just try to do my best. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I mean, you can't win them all. So if we won every single food challenge on our channel, it would get kind of boring for some people. So it's good to have losses in there too. It just, the worst is when I lose challenges I know I could have or should have won.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Now,
same with any sport.
Yeah.
I mean, if you lose a soccer game, a football game, if you lose to a team you should have beaten, those are the hard ones.
Right. Now, you have a very impressive, like I say, YouTube. I mean, you have 900,000 subscribers. All your videos have massive views. How did you do that? I mean, what are some tips you would give someone starting a YouTube channel that wants to build it up? What did you find brought you success on yours?
Well, with any goal, the same thing's always going to be one of the top priorities. It's consistency. We started in 2010, and especially since Magic Mitch joined up with me in 2013, there really hasn't been, I can't remember a week-long break or anywhere where we didn't have food challenge videos posting. So, I mean, for the last couple of years, we've had pretty much the same schedule. We added 4 per week instead of 3 like we were doing for like the last 7 or 8 months since July of 2019. But pretty much anybody that really follows the channel, they know that on Mondays, right now, Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, around 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, there's going to be a video posting. So for the people that you don't really know when their videos are going to post, it's hard to follow them. So we always have content. And then I would say the biggest thing beyond consistency is people know that I genuinely care.
Yeah.
So I don't half-ass anything. If we're going to do something, we do it right, and we do it to the best that we can. So everybody knows that I put a lot of care and effort into it, and that because of that, they stay tuned and they follow, and they're very supportive. We have a very positive community. Even the haters or people that are negative, they don't last very long, just because there's so many people that just step in and comment and say, hey, wait a minute, buddy. Don't talk like that.
Yeah, no, we put something out and we had a hater show up. He's like, yeah, this guy, he doesn't make the challenges. He edits his videos. I'm like, not from what I've seen. I mean, they look.
Oh, are you talking about that guy on Twitter?
Yeah. I mean.
Oh, yeah. He does that all the time. He always has a different Twitter handle too. It's weird.
Oh, man.
But the other thing too is I always try to make sure, I was just talking about this with some people a while ago, is that I always try to make sure that everybody gets the best viewership experience possible. I don't just sit there. There's no ego to it. Hey, watch me eat. Hey, look what I just ate. I try to make sure that I'm engaging and interactive with all of our subscribers, and everybody knows that they're always going to get food challenges when they watch our videos. There's 12 Fridays right now going on where people are getting sexification related videos corresponding to my weight loss and everything, but everybody knows what they're going to get too. I have my own niche. It's food challenges. I stick to my bread and butter, which is that. I don't really just venture around just looking for views. We do food challenges, and we know that some might not get as many views as the rest, or we know that somebody's going to get more than the others, but it's always just food challenges.
Yeah, well, there you go. So consistency is good, and then letting your audience know what you're about. That's very good. I think those are good tips for people out there. So I know you've traveled around. You've done a lot of food challenges. What are some of the weirdest things you think you've eaten? I mean, is there anything that stands out that's a little bit unusual?
No, not really. I mean, even let's say in the Philippines and just the places with some of the crazier foods.
Yeah.
A lot of the food challenges are still based on American foods.
Okay.
So, like, even in the Philippines where they got crazy crap. I mean, I was eating. Have you ever had balut?
No.
This wasn't part of a food challenge, but a balut is a partially fertilized duck embryo, where it's like it's like alive and growing for like 7 days, and then they kill it and turn it into a hard-boiled egg. It's crazy.
Ugh.
But yeah, I mean, that's not even the craziest food. But even there, I ate 2 burgers and then 1 hot dog challenge. So there was only 1 Filipino traditional food challenge, and we had to actually work with the restaurant to have them create it. So no, I would say as far as food challenges go, I've had haggis and black pudding. Have you had either of those? They're British.
No, thank you.
Haggis is Scottish. It's basically a sausage that's made inside sheep intestines.
Ugh, yeah.
And then black pudding, it can also be known as blood sausage. It's like a coagulated blood turned into a sausage.
Yeah, no, I'm
So
good.
some people get grossed out by those, but they're both fried, and anything fried is usually pretty good.
There you go. All right, so we got some more questions from the chat here. So have you ever eaten something that makes you never want to eat that food again? If so, what was it?
Actually, that's okay. I was just about to say that's never happened, but back in like 2012, I did a hot wing challenge that had 12 or it might have been 10 Trinidad Moruga scorpion pepper wings. And because of how bad that went, I don't really do too much spicy stuff. People always wonder if I can do spicy. I can do it. I just choose not to, because it took me 2.5 minutes to eat the wings. It took me 2.5 hours of just being miserable, rashes all over my face and all kinds of crap. It was terrible. In order to be able to walk out of the bathroom, out of the restaurant. So because of that, I really don't touch anything with hotter than ghost peppers.
Yeah.
But as far as like normal foods, that hasn't really ever happened. You would think that I wouldn't like as many French fries, just because I've eaten probably 100 pounds of them over the years. But I still like French fries, especially seasoned ones. My friend Dr. Ramsey, the Mantis Hilton, him and I, back in 2015, might have been 2014, we did a thing that we called Hell Week, where we ate 9 team pizza challenges, totaling around 93 pounds of food, all within 7 days between the two of us. we set a record on the first 8, but then missed the 9th record by like a minute. It was so disheartening. But like 3 days later, I had pizza. So I was with my family, and they're like, "You're eating pizza? Oh my gosh, you're weird."
Hey, pizza's always good, you know. Now, somebody else wants to know. We only see you as you're eating the food. Has there ever been someone behind the camera trying to distract you?
Let's see. Years ago, there were a couple different drunk people during challenges where I was just like at a bar or something without really any subscribers there. It was just me and the camera pretty much, and they would come up and start talking stuff and blah, 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 blah. Nowadays, it really doesn't happen because there's always subscribers there. And if there's anybody heckling me or anybody like that, somebody steps in. Usually a group of people step in, especially once one person speaks up. But they force them the hell out.
That's good. That's good.
So I know it was happening in South Dakota towards the end of 2019. Somebody had been drinking after a long day of work or something, and they were, I don't remember what they said, but there were some guys that stepped in, and they're like, "Look here, buddy, you're going to go. You're going to get out of here.
Yeah.
Randy's filming a video."
That's good. That's good. You got a good community around you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. It's awesome that people are there to help with everything and feel part of everything.
So I got John and Lee with me on the show, and John is my buddy here. We've known each other for years, and his most infamous thing he ever ate was he ate about 50 to 60 cupcakes in one sitting. Now are
we talking mini cupcakes or legit cupcakes?
No, we're talking legit cupcakes. My girlfriend at the time.
What a fatty.
Yeah, I mean, he was throwing down. So what? And he actually wished you were here because his idea was to go against you. And I went, well, that we would lose. I mean, but it wouldn't matter.
It wasn't just me against you. It would have been all 3 of us against you. We would have still lost, but it would have been fun.
But what advice do you have for him? How can he get from 50 cupcakes to 75 cupcakes? Like, are there any tips you can give people that are like on the border of being able to do these food challenges but can't quite get there?
Well, we have a ton of tips. There's over 100 articles on foodchallenges.com that they can check out. There's a Food Challenges 101 under the Challenges tab, but then there's a whole bunch under the Tips and then the Strategies tabs. But cupcakes is a whole different ball game compared to burgers, hot dogs, and tacos and stuff like that. That's more about how your body handles the sugar. Did you watch the 30 cupcake bouquet challenge that I did in Ireland?
I didn't catch that one.
Oh, yeah. No, that didn't get nearly as many views as we had hoped, but watch that. A lady makes all these buttercream cupcake bouquets and stuff. It almost looked like they were legit roses. It was crazy. But I had to eat 30 big, like, jumbo cupcakes, and like 20, 25 minutes into everything, it was just miserable because that sugar was hitting me. Same kind of thing with that. Did you ever watch the Sugar Overload? Like 9-10 pound sundae that I tried in Knoxville, Tennessee.
I did.
It had like 3 pounds of Halloween candy on top of like 20 scoops of ice cream. All of that sugar, all the Reese's, all that just started hitting my body, and it was just really hard to deal with. So being able to eat 75 cupcakes is not so much about stomach capacity. It's more about your body being able to handle all that sugar.
There you go. Well, we got another guy in the chat who wanted to get something. I don't know. It's Kent. He's a good buddy of ours. He said he eat 112 pizza rolls. He just wanted you to know that where I guess where he loves you. So he wants you to know that.
Well, he might have watched one of our videos. There's a pretty, I can't call him crazy because it's fairly boring as far as creativity. But in Phoenix, Arizona, in Scottsdale, I think, or something like that. I think that's 2 different cities. We'll just call it Phoenix. But there's a bar that has like 5 food challenges, and they're weird. They're really boring. But they are pretty cool, too. One was just you got to eat a whole bag, a whole gross, 144 pizza rolls. There's another one where they just go up to Walmart and get a 5-pound thing of tater tots and fry them. You have to eat a whole 5-pound thing of tater tots. But I did the 144 pizza rolls, I think in like 12 minutes or something like that. But that was a lot of fun.
Wow.
Hey, 112 is a lot, so good work.
There you go, Kent. You got your shout. He said he's got the clout now, so you made his day right there.
Good.
Hey,
So-
Randy, this is Lee. I have a question. When you first got started, or even now, do you get nervous before a food challenge, or is there a food challenge that would make you nervous?
Well, I mean, we don't do any food challenges where I'm just 100% no, where I'm sure I can't win, because there's no real point in that. But we do food challenges where it's on the borderline, where I know it's going to depend on how the restaurant cooks it and how I feel that day. I know if a challenge is going to be big, and if there's a lot of people that are going to be there, then yeah, it can be nervous because I mean definitely. I mean, while I did say that it's okay to lose if you do your best, still you want to win. I mean, it's no fun to have 70 people there just to watch you lose or even get sick. That's when it's really potentially embarrassing. So, but yeah, no, I mean, also, no, actually, this is a different way to answer it. I get nervous when it's embarrassing to mess up my intro. So, I mean, there's sometimes where it'll take like 2 or 3 times to do the intro. So I get most nervous when it's a bigger challenge, but more importantly, when there's just a whole bunch of crazy crap to remember and say. Like if the restaurant name is hard to pronounce, if there's a whole bunch of details that aren't really like just standard that are easy to remember, those are when it can be a little bit nerve-wracking because I hate to have to just make the audience sit there and listen to me try to do an intro like 3 or 4 times. I like to be able to do it right on the first try. So yeah, I can get nervous if there's a whole lot of details to remember. That's why if there are a lot of details, I try to get the owner or manager or whatnot to be part of it and just say everything himself or herself, and then I don't have to remember it.
There you go.
So going back to the pizza, on this show, there's a long-running debate about pineapple on pizza. So we need your opinion. Is it thumbs up or thumbs down?
Yeah, thumbs down. If you didn't catch that in the chat, he knows.
Mitch will eat like Hawaiian pizzas and stuff. I will like have a slice of it, but it's nothing that I would ever order. It's kind of like a 6-inch Subway sandwich. There's no reason it should be on the menu.
Thank you, Randy. You are a wise man, a great man. Thank you for that. These 2 haters that sit beside me, they try to drag everyone into this, and they lose every time. I love it.
That's good.
We've had authentic Italians come on the show, and they ask them that. I mean, it's like, come on, get out of here with that nonsense.
Yes.
Any other food tricks you want to throw on there?
So
any more brain busters?
Right.
I know you said you stay away from the spicy food, but what's your opinion on hot Nashville chicken, or have you ever done a challenge with that?
Well, that always depends on the restaurant. I mean, not every hot Nashville chicken isn't always the same. Like I did a challenge, not a challenge. I had just a regular Nashville hot sandwich while I was in Nashville one time, and oh my gosh, it was rough.
Mm-hmm.
But also too, spicy food depends on how prepared you are. Like I've eaten a habanero and stuff before, and it wasn't awful because I was ready for it. There's been times where I was just totally thrown off guard by even a raw jalapeno or Tabasco sauce where I didn't expect it to be that spicy. And that can be just because it throws you off guard. It can be nerve-wracking. So it just kind of depends on how ready you are. If you bite into a sandwich and you don't expect it to be hot, even if it's just mid-grade hot, it can get hot just because it surprises you.
There you go. Yeah. So if you ever come back to Nashville, we definitely should take you somewhere. A couple of good hot chicken places. We on the show did the what's it called, the one hot chip challenge or whatever. There's this chip. It's the hottest chip in the world.
That starts with a T. Or a lot of people have tried to get me to do it, but I haven't.
Don't. I did it twice, and that was a mistake both times. It's not fun, and it's terrible for the next 24 hours.
No, I don't disagree. People just do it for the views and.
Yeah.
I mean, people just laugh at your misery, and thankfully, I don't have to worry about that anymore.
They definitely laughed at ours, yeah.
So if people are interested in learning more about this, where is one challenge that you're most proud of, and you would kind of point them in that direction?
Oh, goodness. Let's see. I don't know if it's really any food challenges that I'm proud of. It's more about the video production. I mean, you can be a great eater with horrible editors and nobody really will care about your videos. Thankfully for me, I've got Magic Mitch and Arthur Davis that both do a really great job. We just actually posted a great video on Monday. Johnny Rockets down. Is there a Johnny Rockets in Nashville?
Yeah, we do. We got one.
Okay. Yeah, I did it down in Miami, but it was with 6 of their double burgers and some side items and a shake. That was a really well put together video. I was pretty happy with that. But I mean, I'm happy with all the videos. So, but yeah, I would say if I had to just pick one lately, definitely the Johnny Rockets one.
That's the one I sat with my family around, and that hooked them in. We were watching you for like 30, 35 minutes after that. We watched a couple of videos back to back to back. So, and every time,
well, tell them I said thank you. That's awesome.
And every time, like I say, I'm like, nope, this ain't happened. Like you did the one today or yesterday, the Italian food one. I was just like, no, there's no way he's going to do all this. This is impossible.
That one snuck up on me. I was getting way too cocky.
Yeah.
I helped plan that. They were actually going to do less wings without the lasagna. And I looked at the pizza. I was like, 14 inches. Come on. 15 wings. Come on. Let's make it hard. And then, I almost lost. So I think they even had me say it in the video. Oh man, I feel stupid. A lot of this was my idea. And I ended up getting less than a minute away from winning, but I was able to sneak by and get the win. That was a lucky one.
That was definitely a good one.
So there comes a point in your head where you're like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do this. How does that feel? What is going through your mind? You know, what is the situation?
Well, usually you can tell if I'm there because I'm like playing with the food, not really eating much, just looking really rough. But it all depends on how much I have left and who's all there. So I always try to say I go hard. I always just joke that if I was an MMA fighter, that I would let myself get choked out before tapping out. But nowadays, I'm not as competitive. If there's a lot of people there and I know that there's no chance of me winning, I'll just kind of play around with my food a little bit and stall some time and let myself run out. But if there's a legit chance where I'm on the fence of whether I can win or not, I'll try. And I'll just I say, hey, have a bucket or a trash can just kind of off to the side. I don't think I'm going to need it, but just in case. And just like that challenge that I tried in New Orleans that we posted like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I thought I was going to win, but that bucket was needed.
Yeah, that was. I saw you cut something like that into the Italian video. I was cracking up. It's
yes. Good. Yeah. I told Arthur, I said we need to get that in there because just in that Cajun food challenge, I was like, I've got an hour. I'm not going to need it. And then I lost. And then I said the same darn thing 2 days later in the frickin' Italian challenge. So I was laughing. Sometimes when I'm watching the videos, I forget stuff that happened. One of my favorite quotes ever was actually just recently in that Italian food video there at the end. Somebody said, Randy knows what he's doing. And I said, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I just don't know why.
Yeah, exactly.
I laughed for like the first 6 times I watched it.
That's a good one. I laughed a lot at the tag. We had a lot of good bits in it for sure. So what does the future hold for you? I see you on your Twitter. You're going to be a future author. So are you working on a book at this time? Tell us about that.
Yes. Yeah, I started working on the book back in 2012. It's been a very long project. I started actually writing it in 2015. It can't actually publish or really turn into too much until I'm an actual dietitian. So I committed to doing food challenges full time, just touring, trying to do all the food challenges I can until I'm going to start my dietetic internship. I'm going to apply in February, find out where I'm going to have to move to in April, and then I'll actually start it in August of 2021. That's going to take anywhere from 6 to 9 months, depending on what program I go to. But then once I'm finished with that, I'll probably do another tour or 2 of food challenges just to try to get rid of everything that's left stuck in the basement and accomplish everything I want to do with food challenges. And then I'll pretty much focus on the transition of switching over, having the book published, have that, go the old-fashioned route of finding a publisher and all that. We'll have a website to make, have a team to build and stuff like that. But then because of what I'm doing with all these food challenges, I'm growing my community and everything like that. Once I become a dietitian, I'll automatically become the #1 followed dietitian in the world on social media. So that will be a big platform, and I'll switch from traveling for all these food challenges to traveling for public speaking and everything like that. So still lots more upcoming. Definitely no settling down anytime soon.
That's crazy. You definitely are a disciplined dude. I can tell. You know where you're going. I like that. So Lee's got one last question for you from the chat, and then we'll definitely get all your plugs in and everything. So Lee, go ahead.
So the rumor is if there's no challenge, after a challenge, you'll sometimes chug a beer. First off, is that accurate? And if so, how many beers could you possibly chug in an hour? And as a follow-up, what is your opinion of Natty Light?
So much for one question. That was like 7.
That's what we do, yeah.
First of all, Natural Light sucks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a Natural Light is definitely my least favorite Anheuser-Busch product. So I will drink Natural Light. I can drink it, but there's never a reason to, unless it's like thrown to me and say, hey, you have to drink this is it. There's only one beer I won't drink, and it's Schlitz. Have you ever had that?
Yes.
I got a 6-pack one time just to try it, and that's the only 6-pack I've ever not finished. I think I just threw them away just because I wanted it out of my sight. It was awful. But let's see. There's actually a lot of people that request nowadays, always guys, that I chug a beer at the end. And if there's room, I'll chug it, because even when I do have to drive, it's very rare where I'm ever at the restaurant for just only an hour after the food challenge. I'm usually there for an hour, 2 hours, whatnot. I'm always the last to leave. I really appreciate everybody that comes to our events. So like I said, sometimes there's 100. Up in the Pennsylvania, in Hanover, Pennsylvania, we had to have it on a baseball diamond because there were like 300 freaking people there. It was crazy. But when that happens, when there's so many people there, I make sure to stay until everybody's gone. If that's the case where I know I'm going to be there for an hour and a half, even if I have to drive, I'll still have the beer. But and I'll usually say it in the videos, but if I'm just full where I know that if the beer might make me throw up, I'm not going to risk it.
Right. Now, how many beers do you think you could chug in an hour if you had to? It's a weird question. Well,
I guess what would the follow-up be? Am I able to just go to bed and pass out?
Sure, yeah.
Or do I have to actually be a civilized, normal, productive human being?
I'd say you could pass out. You could go to bed.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, yeah. If I can sleep in the bathtub or whatnot. I'm actually a much lighter weight than you'd think.
Okay.
So if you ever talk to any of my college friends, they will not talk about me in a positive route. They'll say, Randy's a much bigger pansy than you'd think he would be. So, but they always say that I get drunk off a 6-pack, but that's a bunch of crap. It's usually, I can definitely make it to like the 12 to 15 point until you really start noticing that Randy needs to go to bed or something.
There you go. I think that's a great question to kind of end it with. So tell our people how they can follow you, give out all your social media. How do people, get into your world?
Awesome. Yeah, and I have more time if you guys have more questions. But all of our food challenges, they get posted, all the videos. My main babies are the YouTube channel that we started in 2010. And then my real baby that I really love is the Facebook page. Just because Facebook takes a lot more. It's a lot more versatile than the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is you just post it and then respond to comments. Facebook just has so much more to it. But then we've got Instagram. That's kind of like my stepchild. And then Snapchat and Twitter. Those are like the stepchildren that I just keep in the basement locked up. But I have all those. Those are Randy Santel. And then if anybody has any questions regarding food challenges, pretty much any question you might have, especially as a beginner or even amateur, it's answered in an article on foodchallenges.com. And obviously foodchallenges.com to get there. But that's pretty it. So I appreciate you guys having me on the show. Really appreciate you guys watching the videos. That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I like I say, if you stop by Nashville, please let us know. I would love to go to one of the events. I think that would be awesome.
Well, no, I love Nashville. I always say Nashville is Christmas for single people 52 weekends a year.
Yeah.
So I'm actually, when I start back up in April, it's going to be in Tennessee. So I don't know. I talked to my team tomorrow, actually. Now that we're a month out, I start working on the channel and everything like that. I've been giving the schedule. I've been giving myself a break from everything. But yeah, now that we're a month out, it's time to start really looking into getting everything planned out so we can start putting the Facebook events out, doing all the publicity and everything like that, just announcing that we're going to get places. But if I'm back in Nashville or have a day off or something where I can come see you guys, that would be awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah. I've done all the challenges that I know of in Nashville. If you guys know of any that I haven't done, definitely let me know.
I think we need to set up a John
There's
versus Randy crystal competition.
There's a what?
John versus Randy crystals, the fast food.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, we don't have crystals in Missouri. We just have White Castle. So I would definitely do that. That would be fun.
How many crystals do you think you could, do in it? What is it? A time limit? What's the amount? What's the typical?
I've done a crave case of White Castle pretty easy. So I think I could definitely get to 50 or more.
What do you think, John? You got 50 in you?
I think I could do 25.
Oh,
That's a lot, but I don't know about 50.
I think fair would be us three versus him. We'd lose, but it'd be.
I probably got 4 or 5 I could put down.
There you go. Wow, a lot of help there.
4 or 5. Come on, have some respect for yourself. You could do better than that.
Well, even the best news is Crystal now has all you can eat for $6.99. So.
Yeah, Brandon, the garbage disposal Clark, I think, did a video on that, seeing how many you can eat.
It's crazy.
So. I haven't done an all you can eat in forever. So I pretty much just I think once I'm done with this Sexification 2020, I think my training meal to get back to it before I start back up, I'm probably going to do a buffet. But I think I'm going to do an Indian buffet. Indian buffet is delicious and a lot of healthy vegetables with all that. So it's not as bad as if I did like a Chinese with a whole bunch of fried foods or a pizza buffet or something like that. But hell, all you can eat crystals, that'd be a lot of calories real quick.
Yeah, for sure. Well, man, we really appreciate you coming on the program. We're going to spread the word. Everybody's been, the chat's just going crazy, man. They love you. Like I said, you got a great show, great content. You seem like I said, very disciplined. You know what you're going for, and I'm hoping for success for you. And when you put that schedule out, if you're in Tennessee, we'll be there. We'll show up for the challenge for sure. I'd love to be there and be part of it. So that'd be cool.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, no, people always ask me not always. I'm kind of tooting my horn there, but I get asked if I'm single, married, or whatnot all the time, and I usually always say we are one of the most. I'm in one of the most engaging channels with this many subscribers as far as followers and especially a lot of people just have YouTube. They don't have Facebook and YouTube. Right. So we have a whole ton of people that we have to keep up with. And I try to get back to all the messages and comments that I can. And I'm able to do that because I'm single. So if I had a girlfriend or anything like that, I wouldn't be able to be as engaging as I am. So no, I appreciate everybody that watches the videos. And there's a whole lot more upcoming. I know my 10-year anniversary is coming up this March 19th, 2020, and this is still just the beginning. So got a long ways to go. It's going to be a lot of more fun stuff upcoming.
All right. Well, we appreciate you, man. We'll be keeping up with you, and hey, have a good night, and best of luck, man.
Hey, yeah, no, thank you guys, and of course, thanks to everybody listening. Thank you, of course, for supporting the podcast. That's much appreciated, and thanks to everybody that supports the both of us.
All right. Well, have a good night. We'll be in touch.
All right. Sounds good. Good night, guys.
See you, Randy. There you go.
Bye.
That was Randy Santel, man. Great interview there. RandySantel.com. Go check it out. The videos they blow your mind. I mean, I'm telling you, I said it to him. I say it to anybody. Every time one of them starts, it's just in my head. There's no way. I mean, the latest one, this pizza was like, the pizza alone, I was like, no way. Then wings. And then something like a lot of times it's milkshake and beer and all this crazy stuff. So I don't know. But would we beat him to first to 50, as someone said? No. But if we could sub Lee out for another eater, I think we might be able to. I could get, if I had to.
If we got to choose somebody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why don't we just bring the Tortorello family in?
Ooh, we probably win on that one. So. All right, we'll see what happens. I mean, if he's here, we're going to make that happen. So, yes, RandySantel.com. Thanks so much for him coming on the program. It was awesome. Okay, so we got a little bit of time, so do we want to talk about, obviously, the tornadoes came through East Nashville. Lee, your friend who's been on the program, Brandon, and his wife own a business, Molly Green, in East Nashville. It was destroyed by the tornado. I mean, completely demolished. 24 people have died at this point. It was a very tragic event. It's cool to see the city coming together. And it was cool that, like, when I got up, a lot of people were tweeting at us, like, are you guys okay? Is everything cool? And it shows you sometimes that the spirit of people is better than what we think it is, So
it just thinks that tragedy is what has to happen to bring it out.
That's true. So, Lee, how did you find out about it? I mean, you just wake up, turn the news on, or?
My wife is an avid storm watcher. We have dogs that freak out at any lightning or high wind even. We also have weather sirens in the neighborhood that go off, but she knew that it was coming in before anyone else probably did. She has a knack for it. But, yeah, she was up watching. She had the computer pulled up with 4 different severe weather Nashville, all the locals, all tracking it. And, of course, the path of the tornado went directly through Hermitage, which she had family in. So she was on the phone calling everyone that she knew in East Nashville and Hermitage. So she did a great job on that.
Good. Okay. Well, I'm glad everybody we know is fine. John, the same way. You were at work.
I was at work, and actually it came right about a mile away from where I was.
Man.
The lights kind of did a little, not completely went out, but they kind of.
Well, I'll tell you a crazy story I heard. In the back of Molly Green, there's another building. It's a speakeasy called Attaboy.
Mm-hmm.
And evidently, there were people there during it, and they were all huddled up, and someone just yelled out, "Run!" And this girl took off, running out the door, and her boyfriend followed after her.
They died, yeah.
Tragic that they died. So if you do encounter a tornado, definitely don't be outside.
Don't run.
Don't be near windows or doors. Find enclosed area in a basement, preferably in a bathroom with no windows, and hunker down until it's over.
Yeah, just be safe. It's unfortunate it happens. A couple years, it was a flood before this, tornadoes before that again. So, it's part of living here and just being aware, like Lee said. I mean, get somewhere safe, pay attention. If it would have come through my part of town, I probably would have died because I slept like a baby that night. I woke up. I didn't even know what day it was when I woke. You ever slept that good where you wake up and go, "What's today?" John probably not, but
I have a sort of a sense of denial when it comes to weather issues.
Yeah,
like I always downplay it way more than I should probably. During the tornado before the floods, when it was coming through. I was trying to sleep, and my family was like, and I lived in a house that did have a basement. They're like, "Yeah, John, get the basement." I'm like, "I'm trying to sleep."
I'm with you. I'm definitely storm denier. My wife freaks out, and she's like your wife, Lee. She like pays attention to it, and I'm just like, in my life, I would love to see a tornado. Now, I mean, I don't want to be close enough to see it 5 feet from me, but I would love to see it. I've always been fascinated by storms, and when the movie Twister came out, I was like, this is cool. And my buddy was at work when the one hit in 1999. Is that when it was?
93, I don't know. Whatever.
It was 99 or something like that, and he saw it coming up Broadway. He said it was the craziest
Well, did you see that crane operator?
No, somebody. I think
there was
Robin was telling me.
There was a crane operator, and they couldn't evacuate him because it takes 15 minutes to get down. I guess the ladder, stairs, whatever.
Yeah, he was stuck up there. Yeah,
and they only got warning 5 minutes, and he started filming it, and it's pretty scary because he's on there saying like, "Make sure you tell everyone that I love them." He was pretty certain he was going to die, or at least he knew if the tornado came his way. And actually, if you read about those cranes, it's pretty crazy what they do. They actually detension them and allow them to do what's known as weather vaning, where it starts snapping back and forth at high winds intentionally so it doesn't break.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I couldn't do that job anyway, just being high up. But he could see the tornado from, being on top of a crane. That's got to be crazy.
Oh, I can imagine. So, I mean, if you are in the area, if you want to help, I mean, I don't know of any personal things, but there's a lot of charities you can give. A lot of people are selling shirts and all the profits are going. So just get on the internet and just Google Nashville Nashville Storm Relief. A bunch of options have come up. And like the city's been really great, as they always are, coming together and helping each other out. So that's just good.
Taylor Swift donated $1 million.
Yeah, okay.
So
anyway, let's
that's something she didn't have to do.
okay. So we want to lighten the mood real quick and get into a Dear John. All right, it's time for Dear John.
Dear John, dear John, by the time you read these lines, I'll be gone.
All right, time for Dear John. Lee will read a question someone has sent us, and John will attempt to answer it. Go.
This one comes in. Dear John, a friend I really like has been extremely helpful babysitting my 4-month-old son every once in a while. The problem is she informed me that she rubs his gums and lets him chew on her fingers. I find this gross and strange. Clean fingers or not, I'd prefer she not do this. She only has him a couple of hours at a time, and he has teething toys. Am I overreacting? If not, how do I politely inform my friend that I'd rather she not put her fingers in my baby's mouth? I can't think of a way to explain it that wouldn't offend her from off limits.
Here we go.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you're getting a free service.
Oh, no.
So, I mean, if it bothers you that much, then you got to let that, I mean.
So she should be paying extra.
No.
I mean, in some communities, that is extra for that kind of service.
I'm saying if she's getting, if her friend's like taking care of her kiddo for free.
John, have you heard of the
just let them do whatever they want to
coronavirus, man? Have you
I'm just
heard about
saying.
the coronavirus? You can't be taking your freaking fingers and putting them in people's mouths, man. That's how
Especially
people
small
die.
children.
Yeah, small children and elderly people.
I'm saying.
Maybe she's watching her grandmother. We don't know what's going on in this household.
But if she doesn't like that behavior, she doesn't have to have that person watch him anymore.
Well, maybe it's the only person that can. How does she approach the subject? Just approach it? I mean,
just we don't need you anymore.
What?
Oh,
Okay,
my
okay,
God.
John.
You just fired the
John,
face.
it's your mother watching your child, and your mother is doing it. You going to fire your mom?
I'd ask her why. If I had a problem with it, if it's my mom, I know she washes her hands. I know she takes care of herself, so I'd ask her why she's doing it. And if it's for the teething thing, she probably knows more than I do. So
then you would allow it.
Yeah.
If it's your
John
mom.
doesn't have a problem
if it's
with
my
it.
mom.
Do you have a problem with it, Lee?
I think the problem that I have with it is that's your child, and whether I have a problem or not is not really that important. Obviously, she's offended by her, and she's really scared to tell this woman because she might be offended. Like, what is more important to you, your child or this woman being offended?
That's true.
It just kind of echoes this society where everyone is so afraid of offending everyone,
You're
right?
right, yeah.
So if you're not willing to stand up for your child,
you're in trouble.
Who are you willing to stand
That's
up
true.
for?
You're in a bit of a mess there. You need to grow a damn backbone and just tell her, I don't want you to do it. As Robin said from chat, just bring up health concerns.
No, you got to snatch that baby out of that woman's arms and tell her to take a walk.
I don't think you fire her because obviously she may be doing a service that no one else can. You go to her and go, hey, the thing you're doing, I don't want you doing it anymore, okay? If that's a problem, then you have to go. But if not, it's my child. I don't want you doing that. I mean, would I be that concerned about it, though? Honestly, not really. I mean, who cares? As long as their hands are clean, like you say, and obviously you're trusting people to be clean. Who cares what the
Well, what is she
baby's
doing when you're
chewing
not
on?
around? What have you not seen?
Well, who knows what she's doing? I mean, maybe she's, I don't know.
She could be using healing crystals or cinnamon oil or something.
Would you really have a problem with this? You're a good friend of yours watching a kid and they're, hey, they chew on my hand to teeth. Okay, man, who cares? I mean,
I've
got 3 kids. I don't care after the third one. I'm just going to be honest. I'd be like, yeah, do
I think
whatever.
the point
as
is,
long as they're good.
if the woman is concerned about it, that's what's important.
So
the real concern is that she has a serious concern.
Well, she's got,
and she still allows it to happen.
As all people that write in, she's got issues she's working through, and that's the whole point of it. She's working through her own issues. John, what's the final say?
Say if you don't like it, then have her stop doing it in any means necessary. If it's not big of a problem,
any means necessary.
So
Murder?
Either fire her. No, that's you don't have to go that far.
You said any means necessary.
Like, why would you have to go that way? She's gonna break into your house for
like single white female over
stick
here.
her fingers in the baby's.
Your quote was any means necessary.
I'm saying if you could either tell her, man up and tell her, or you can fire her.
All right,
if
there
it's
you
bothering
go.
you that
Did
much.
I hear murder?
Murder her, tell her, or fire. That's Dear John.
In that order.
In that order, yes. All right, that's the episode. I think we got through it, man. Randy Santel was a great guest. Thanks so much for him coming on the program. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. Go to randysantel.com, subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, all of his stuff. And hey, while you're all on that social media, follow us, engage with us. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube. Us and Randy Santel, we're hanging in the same circles, guys. Our website's blameyourbro.com. Great website. Great articles. We got a new article coming from Adam Cox this week, so you need to go to blameyourbro.com to be aware of that. He's got all of his past articles. We got all of our social media links. We got ways to grab the show. Leave us a rating. Leave us a review. We would love you for that. You can email the show directly from the website. If you want to ask John a question, see what happens with the advice, go to the website. Email box right there. We have an email list you can sign up for, and there's even a send voicemail button on there, so if you want to talk to us, we would love that as well. Guys in the chat, thanks so much. Remember, next week, Tuesday, 8 p.m. next week. Lee, with all that being said, is there anything else?
Don't blame yourself when you can blame your brother.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.